Ethereum has had an absolutely fantastic week in the crypto market. Today we're going to check back in on it and perform some technical analysis and make some price predictions on where we can expect to see Ethereum go in the near future. Let's get into it. How's it going, guys? Ryan here and welcome back to another crypto video. We are once again taking a look at ETH, ETH or Ethereum as most people know it by. We're going to be performing some technical analysis using various indicators such as moving averages, the relative strength index and the MACD in order to make some predictions based on the data as to where we can see Ethereum going in the near future. But before we get into that, guys, please remember to leave a thumbs up if you do enjoy today's video, and of course if you want to see more of this sort of content, hit subscribe and turn on those bell notifications. We cover crypto, stocks, investing and wealth management. I'd also love to know your thoughts on the direction of ETH and Ethereum in general down in the comment section below. But without any further ado, let's jump into the computer and start today's analysis. Welcome into the Ethereum chart, guys. As you can see, we have had a stellar run over the past month or so, and we are currently sitting at a value of $3,880 roughly. Absolutely awesome stuff. You can see it's going crackers right now. In fact, it has just broken out from its previous point. If we zoom out here, we can really see where we're headed. We're heading once again for those all-time highs. And just to remind you where that is at, that all-time high is sitting at roughly $4,386 That is right now, in my opinion, the target for this coin. But let's put in some indicators to provide some justification as to whether that is feasible, whether that is the case. Let's first put in our points of key support as well as key resistance. First and foremost, I'm going to put in place what I think is our current point of resistance. I'm going to chuck that one right about here. And funnily enough, that is exactly where the price effectively is now. And the reason I've put it in here is because based on the data over at our previous peak, this is touching absolutely all of the candles which we see, basically meaning there has been a lot of price action at this point. And this point is obviously the price I said before, $3,880. We're just touching above that slightly. The key for us here is to really see, can we break through it? We are testing it today. This is the first day we've been testing this point. It's been getting real close to it over the past 2 days. Hasn't got there, but today it is moving there. Now, where is our support point? Well, let's just move that one down, and it's going to be a similar sort of exercise. We're looking for the point where we can see plenty of price action has occurred. And in the past, 3,300, and let's put it maybe just about there, 3,340 roughly. That is where we're seeing plenty of support occur. Zooming out, you can see that this is the case given that there is plenty of trading action that has occurred here. There's plenty of trading action that has occurred here at this top point, particularly in up and down manner, testing that point multiple times before 3 days ago, sorry, we broke out from that point very convincingly with massive candles. And one interesting thing to note is this isn't even of crazy volume, as you can see off the bottom here. It's relatively standard and basically the same as what we've seen over the past few months. But what that is showing us is that the majority of the volume is buyers. There's not many people selling. A lot of the sentiment is coming back into the market and back into ETH itself, which is fantastic for holders and new investors alike. What we're really aiming for now is to break this point of resistance at $3,885 odd, break through and try and have a crack at these all-time highs. I think we might encounter a bit of resistance at probably, this $4,100 mark, but until then, really there's been nothing in the past, so I don't think we're going to see much resistance I think what we're going to see is potentially some profit taking, but overall it looks like the market is strong at the moment and we are going to punch through those brand spanking new all-time highs. Now, let's bring in a few more indicators in order to justify what we're talking about. Now, I'm going to bring in the 3 moving averages we'd like to use. A short-term 20-day moving average. I'll bring in a medium-term 50-day moving average. And finally, I will also bring in a longer-term 200-day moving average, chucking that one just in there, just to see where we're at. Now, whilst we did see, obviously, in the past, a golden cross has occurred here, really good sign for us moving forward, and obviously we saw that through all the price action that has occurred over the past few weeks. What is interesting now is basically these are all moving up, so we're not going to see any crosses anytime soon. But what these lines are now acting at is key support points. So this 20-day moving average here, which is currently sitting at 3,307 roughly, that is going to be our key point of support moving forward. It's moving up, as you can see, towards our horizontal support line. So basically this point right now is extremely strong, and if we come down to retest it, I would expect that we do see a bounce. So worst case scenario, we'll see something like that in my opinion. Best case scenario, this keeps coming up and up and up with all the price action that is occurring. So what does that leave us? Well, really, we can't interpret much more from that from a moving average perspective. So let's move on to the MACD, moving average convergence divergence. Chucking that one in there, we can see that there is a convergence on the chart. Great news. What this is showing us is our consolidation period is over, which we saw there wasn't massive candles there, and you can see the candles here relatively horizontal. They're not going up, they're not going down, they're just moving sideways. So great stuff there. We ended up breaking out. This has crossed over, indicating that we are now moving in an upwards direction, and we're only 3 days into this. That means for us, we have a lot of room to move looking back at historical data. As we move back, you can see all these decent sized moves are relatively long, which indicates to me that if we're going to, have a few more green candles and get up to these similar sort of heights, that means we have to pass this point of resistance. So that further backs up our argument that we're breaking past 3,880 pretty convincingly within the next day or so. Now, bringing in our final indicator for today, it'll be the relative strength index. As you can see, we are just sitting in overbought territory. In fact, we're currently sitting at an RSI of 72.82 roughly. Now, obviously moving forward, that is not ideal. If we were sitting in our range between 30 and 70, that's preferably where we want to be. But as you can see, cryptos tend to ignore this at times. And you can see all our big peaks, we have sustained an overbought status above the 70 unit mark for extended periods of time previously. So even if we do see a slight bit of selling, which to be honest, with regards to the strength of everything moving at the moment, I can't see happening. But even if it does occur, it will be brief. We might dip back in just under the 70 mark, and I think the buying will come straight back and we'll start moving in an upwards direction. I really think what everyone's waiting for now is this point to be breached. Once that point is breached, we are off and away. Basically, that means once we breach 3,880 odd, what's the target? Well, the target is all-time highs. If we can manage to crack some new all-time highs above 4,380 odd, we are in the money. We are moving forward into blue sky territory where we have never been before. Just zooming out, you can see that would be absolutely phenomenal for all Ethereum holders and overall for the crypto market. Ethereum is one of those coins people look at, or ETH I should say, sorry, that people use to determine, okay, what is the vibe going on? What is the strength of the market? If ETH does that, we are moving. And as you can see, we're about to crack 3,900 on the chart right now. Just a bit more buying pressure and we could potentially get there. That wraps up today's video, guys. Let me know your comments, queries, questions, and thoughts on Ethereum and ETH coin down in the comments section below. And of course, if you did enjoy today's video, remember to leave a thumbs up to show your support. And if you want to see more of this sort of content, hit subscribe and turn on those bell notifications. We cover crypto, stocks, investing, and wealth management. But I'm going to leave it there, guys. I hope you have an awesome day. Have an absolutely fantastic weekend, and I'll see you next time. Cheers.